G'day, you filthy jabronis of the PMC D-League. It's your boy the Verd back here again. And you know what time of the week it is. It is time for your victory stars and duds. Get excited, people, because you know that your boy the Verd is excited to get this shit up and rolling. So, without further ado, let's begin this thing with the stars, because these are the ones we want to talk about. These are the ones that have put in the work, and I've been told to be a bit more extensive in my explanation, so brace yourselves, because I'm going to be. So, in number 3 this week for the stars of the week, we have Volcano for the new Metagross. Now, the reason why Volcano is on this list is because, quite simply, the Washington Talonflames had nothing for this monster. It showed it early on against the Mega Sizzle. It was Specs. The Talonflames thought they could safely bring in their Electros as a counter, and it took 73% from the Steam Eruption, just got blown back. It then showed its bulk by eating up a Shadow Ball from the Chandelure and blowing that thing back too. And if it had been maybe Speed Crept for the Sizzle, it could have picked up his 3rd kill of the game. But its impact was pretty immense, being able to take out the Chandelure and the Electros, which were 2 very important Pokemon for the Washington Talonflames, especially since they struggled against Cresselia and Mega Venusaur, so it would have been nice to have the Chandelure there for that situation. It was just a big kind of momentum shifter for RG, and basically those 2 kills from Volcano early set him up for a very nice victory. He used it really well. Specs was the appropriate set to bring. The Talonflames just had no switch in, and so RG took full advantage of that. I mean, that's why it's number 3. It was just very, very well used. Now, in at number 2 is the Scolipede, used by the Baltimore Oriolus in their match against the Windsor Weaviles. Now, it can be debated that the reason Scolipede is on this list is simply because Orso didn't go into Absol earlier, but it showed off just how good Scolipede can be in this format. Now, as a speed boost life orb attacking Scolipede, the Earthquake did so goddamn much to a Registeel. My lord, like, Registeel has amazing defense. Like, it's like base 150 in both, and he was ripped through by this Scolipede, which was able to take these speed boosters, and when it got to +2 with the speed boost, was enough to outspeed a Choice Scarf Ment as well, and kill that thing with a Rock Slide. Eventually, it would go down to the Absol, but basically at a point in the match where it was kind of switching and switching and switching, Scolipede broke through the Weaviles team at a critical moment for CJ, allowing him to grab all that momentum and get that clean week 2 victory. So being able to wall break through Orso's very tidy defense with the Scolipede is why it is the 2nd place star of the week, because it just showed once again how fantastic it can be as a dominant wall breaker in this game. Very, very underrated. But at number 1 this week, we have Drama Alert, the kiram from the Maryland Mienshaos and Volcate Zoroarks match. Now, obviously, it's back-to-back weeks pretty much where I've put a Stormon in 1st place, but in this match, kiram was just the OG. Like, he was able to easily set up on the Vaporeon and pressure stall that thing. He was then able to pick up a kill on the Metagross. Ultimately, he would go down to the Dugtrio in the end, but he also weakened the Dugtrio to the point where it could be easily picked off later on. And being able to wear down that Vaporeon was important, because the Maryland Mienshaos kind of struggled against that Vaporeon. Have that buffer was really important. Also, being able to weaken the Dugtrio, allowing the Choice Scarf Terrakion to basically clean up late game was really important, because if the Dougie was able to keep its sash with the Choice Scarf Terrakion still around, then it could eat up any hit and be able to easily take it out with the Earthquake, which would have been pretty detrimental for the Maryland Mienshaos. So kiram was definitely the big team player this week, and being able to just wall pretty much almost all of the Volcate Zoroarks team, it definitely had to be the number 1. It was very smartly built, it was well executed, and it got the desired result. Now we move on to the duds, which people say is their favourite section of these videos, because I do get pretty full on with it, and it's just because, guys, like, I do keen and I enjoy the draft based format a lot, and so when it comes to doing these kind of things, I want to give you like my side of things. So breaking it down, we've got 3 that maybe people don't feel are the biggest duds, but I'm going to explain why they were the biggest duds in their matches. So coming in at number 3, we have the Mega Sizzle used by the Washington. One positive I can say from this Mega Sizzle set was that they had enough speed to outspeed Volcano. That was great. You got the kill with that, that was good. Here's where the issues lie. I'm not really sure why Protect had to be there. You had a Chandelure that could easily switch in on the Mega Venusaur and the Cresselia if they had HP Fire, get a Flash Fire boost, their lives. Like, there was no need to Protect to risk that. Instead of Protect, you could have ran something like Roost, and by running Roost, it gave Scizor a chance to be able to take on the Cresselia and the Mega Venusaur a bit better, and could have then maybe allowed you to run a move like Swords Dance, because if you look back at that battle, a Swords Dance roosting Mega Scizor later on in that game could have actually pulled things back for the Washington Talonflames. Being able to get rid of Volcano was really, really big at the time, and then also being able to get rid of Mega Venusaur, like the best thing that could probably hit the Mega Scizor at the time was going to be the Cresselia, which would die to a +2 Bug Bite. So it definitely could have shifted momentum. I feel like running the Protect with 3 attacks with no recovery was just bad, because as you saw in that battle, the Venusaur revealed the Leech Seed, and not being able to heal up with the Scizor and not having the Swords Dance to be able to capitalize on this, he just wasn't able to really do much, and Scizor was kind of just it fell a bit flat on his team, and that's why it is the 3rd place dud, in my opinion. In at number 2, and I really don't mean to hate on the Maxximum Charizards, but we do need to discuss this Ferrothorn set. Now, it's all well and good that you get OHKO'd by a Heat Wave, that's all good, but the main issue I have with the fact that he was running a Curse Ferrothorn, I think Curse Ferrothorn is actually a really cool set. It's really unexpected, it's really great. However, when you're going up against a guy that you know has an Infernape in the back, and has a Tornadus in front of you that could go for Focus Blast, Superpower, or the Heat Wave, it is not worth trying to set up on it. Even if you're in against the, I think the lead matchup was against Leavanny. Like, Leavanny can get Encore, so even going for Curse there is dangerous, because then he'll just Encore you into Curse, and then you can just set up with other stuff. So it was a huge risk, and also I guess maybe he was predicting the Infernape not to be there, but I mean, Infernape had a great matchup against this team, and he also just really didn't factor in the Heat Wave from the Torn, but we know already that Torn was a destructive juggernaut. But definitely I feel the Curse Ferrothorn is a really nice idea, but it was not the right set to bring that week. An Ockerberry Ferrothorn would have been great there. Could have gone for the Gyro and pretty much OHKO'd that Tornadus, and as you can see from the battle, if that Tornadus had been out of the way, things might have gone differently in that battle. So that was definitely a big letdown for me, the way that Ferrothorn was played. So that was definitely the 2nd place dud for me. Now, my number 1 ranked dud is probably going to surprise you people, but I have good reasoning to explain this. The number 1 dud for this week is the megalopunny from the Portland Crobats. Now that's for a few reasons. It's not just the fact that he was, you know, outbluffed by the Rotom Heat. That could have happened to anybody. It's a 50-50. He didn't want to. The big thing for me was the moveset and how it could have been easily improved by teching like one thing onto it. So his moveset in the end was Substitute, Power Up Punch, Return, and High Jump Kick. Now, that's great in general, but as you saw, he was easily able to be worn down by the Gourgeist, and what would have just been a lot better in that teched Drain Punch over the High Jump Kick. Now the reason for that is because it would allow him to get the health back from Gourgeist and put him in a position where he could actually set up another sub and also be able to eat up the foul plays a lot better, and especially after a Power Up Punch, being able to then go for a Drain Punch, get all your health back, would have been really, really nice for him in that situation, and definitely I feel would have been better, because the High Jump Kick did do a lot, but also in the same sense, it really wasn't affecting the Gourgeist. It could just synthesis up constantly, whereas with the Drain Punch, you're forcing him to have to try and break yourself with foul play, which, as we knew from the battle, it was actually a roll to do. So then if your sub stayed intact, you could go for a Power Up Punch, allowing you to hit even harder with a Drain Punch, and it would basically have set Akki up to win that battle. So I feel that by not giving himself any form of recovery on a substitute set, it was just not good planning, because even if you're trying to set up sub against a Gorgeist, Seed Bomb should be able to break a megalopunny sub quite easily. Foul play, like I said, was a roll, so in my opinion it was a good idea but also a terrible idea not giving any way to recover Lopunny's health. So the fact that that happened, also the fact that you know, with the Rotom, like that, I mean, that was a 50-50. I can't really call him a dud for that. That was a really nice bluff from Adam, as I mentioned it in the top plays. It was a very, very good bluff at the time. Whether it would be like, obviously he could have won that game at that point with Lopunny if he had actually stated and committed with the return. But I just feel that Drain Punch would have been so much better on Mega Lopunny. Being able to heal off all that damage, being able to set up constant subs, would have been a lot stronger for him in that matchup. But that is going to do it for the stars and duds this week, guys. Obviously, this could lead to a few arguments. I'm more than happy to justify my selections again in the comments below, or, you know, if you want to tweet at me, feel free to do it. I'm more than happy to defend it. This is how I feel the best and worst Pokemon were this week. But let me know in the comments below who you felt were the stars and duds of this week, and who you feel so far has been the more dominant star, being the Cresselia from week 1 or the Kiram from week 2, and who has been the most disappointing dud. Was it Maxx's performance in week 1, or was it this Lopunny that decided not to run recovery, which basically could have brought the game back for Akki at the time? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for me, guys. As you guys should know already, I am the Bird. I am here with the PMC D League, and I will be back with you guys for top plays and more stars and duds in the future. But anyway, I'm out of this bitch. Peace.